You're here because you want lower ping, lower lag, and higher FPS and lower latency in especially in video games on Windows, and that's reasonable. We've all been there where we're trying to get the lowest latency and ping possible. And there's not that many things you have to do to achieve that because it's pretty simple. Basically, the only real things you have to do are in the pre-installed Windows app called View Network Connections. You just open that, and I will go over Ethernet first, but I will also leave a timestamp if you want to look at Wi-Fi instead, the Wi-Fi settings, but I'm going to start with Ethernet settings, both in the same video, by the way. All you should really need in here, I mean, you should read through it. If you really want to, you can read through which each of these things Basically, I just right-clicked on the Ethernet properties, and you can go through, see which the description of each of these, but basically all you should need on here checked is client for Microsoft Networks, QoS packet scheduler, Internet Protocol version 4, and Internet Protocol version 6. And once you've got only those checked, or whichever you want to have checked, basically this is all you should need checked. Once you do that, you should click on Internet Protocol version 4. This is where most of the optimization is going to be. Then you click on Properties, and you see down here there's DNS servers. It says use the following DNS server addresses: preferred DNS server, alternate DNS server. Basically, if to find out which DNS server is actually best for you, all you need to do is open command prompt, and there's four main ones. I'll flash them on the screen briefly, but I'll show them on the screen. But so there are four main DNS addresses that people use. There's Cloudflare's two main public ones, and then Google's two main public ones. So basically, to test them, we're going to start with Cloudflare's main one, which is ping 1.1.1.1. But the ping is just testing the estimated, testing the ping to that DNS server, like your latency and ping to that server. But this is the actual DNS address, 1.1.1.1. Then you just press enter, and it's going to start running a series of statistics, and at the end here it'll show you this. You should be looking at this: average equals what number. This is 23 milliseconds. All right, we want the lowest number possible, so now this one's good for me. I don't know what it is for you. You have to see that yourself. We're gonna do ping 1.0.0.1, which is Cloudflare's second main DNS address. So we're going to ping that one. These are all public to use, by the way, all the ones I list in here. You should have no problems with that. And 1.0.0.1 gave me the same as 1.1.1.1, the same average ping. But since 1.1.1.1 up here is their primary one, I'm going to put this one above the other one instead of the other way around, or equal, because this one's the primary one, even though it's the same ping response. And we're not even done yet. There's two more you can try. These two are great, but there's two more you can try, which are ping 8.8.8.8, which is Google's primary public DNS address. This one I got 22 milliseconds. That's really good. So this actually beat both of Cloudflare's up here. So now I'm going to look at Google's secondary public DNS address. I'm going to ping 8.8.4.4, which is Google's secondary public DNS address. I got even lower. I got the same as 8.8.8.8 as 8.8.4.4. So since 8.8.8.8 is the primary up here, the Google's primary public one, I'm going to enter that on my computer, 8.8.8.8. And then since 8.8.4.4 tied with it, I'm going to put 8.8.4.4 on here. And basically, all you need to do is find the lowest latency of these four for you, the lowest ping on here for you on average from the command prompt. And then the second lowest on as the alternative. The preferred is the lowest and the second lowest is alternative. If they tie, then put the more primary one up here, and the secondary one on bottom. And if you tie with a Google DNS address and a Cloudflare DNS address, I would recommend putting Cloudflare higher, because if either of them get lower ping, that's just objectively better. But Cloudflare, if it's tied with Google, I'd recommend using, because it's usually more reliable, but the lower ping is still more important. Okay, now basically you can just close this menu here because we're still in the Ethernet properties, and then you want to right click it and reopen properties, and then click on configure. You can close command prompt now, you don't need that anymore. And now once you're in configure, you can go into advanced and copy my settings from here. Advanced advanced triple E disabled, ARP offload disabled, triple E max support speed, put this to the max to let you. Energy efficient Ethernet disabled, flow control disabled, gigabyte light disabled, green Ethernet disabled, interrupt moderation disabled, IP4 checksum offload disabled, jumbo frame to the highest it'll let you, large send offload v2 disabled, large send offload v2 for IPv6 also disabled, network address but not present, NSF offload disabled. Or if you already have a network address put in here, then that's fine, but if you don't, then just put not present. Power saving disabled, priority in VLAN enabled, receive buffers, set this to the max to let you. So just for example, let me put an insanely high number that it's never going to allow. It's going to say my maximum is 4,996. So I'm going to put that in here because that's the maximum it'll let me. That's basically what we want, is the maximum it'll let me. And your Ethernet, when you do something like as advanced as that, your Ethernet might disconnect for a second to apply that single change. But once it does that, you can just go right back into the settings, configure advanced, and all of this should be, yeah, how you set it. And now you're going to go back to that setting. Receive buffers was the one, and you see it's changed already, which is good. And we can keep going. Shut down wake on LAN enabled, speed and duplex, the maximum it'll let you. TCP checksum offload IPv4 disabled, TCP checksum offload IPv6 disabled. Transmit buffers, again, you want to set this to the maximum it'll let you. I'm just going to put a ridiculous number. It's going to say my maximum is 4,096. Make sure you're putting it to your maximum, not mine. 4,096. I press enter. Again, my Ethernet will disconnect for a second, but then it'll immediately reconnect, basically. And now you go back into the settings, configure advanced, go down to where we were, transmit buffer. See, it already applied the setting. We went right back to it. That's good. UDP checksum offload IPv4 disabled. UDP checksum offload IPv6 disabled. VLAN ID 0. Wake on magic packet disabled. Wake on pattern match disabled. WOL and shutdown link speed. Set this to the maximum it'll let you. And now one last thing, go into driver, update driver, search automatically for drivers. If it detects that there's a newer driver, it'll give you the option to install it, and if there's not a newer driver, then it'll tell you the best drivers for your device are already installed. So then you can close that. And now that we've already done all the advanced settings, we can close this. And again, it goes offline for a second and then comes right back. Here we're all good. Should be all good. The settings should be the same. Just going to check again to make sure. Yeah, we are good. And that's going to be it for Ethernet. However, if you want to use Wi-Fi, we're going to put the timestamp for Wi-Fi. If you use Wi-Fi, then you can click on your Wi-Fi, right-click, properties, go in here, set all the same checks basically. So client for Microsoft Networks checked, QoS packet scheduler checked, Internet Protocol version 4 checked, and Internet Protocol version 6 checked. Those are the only ones you should ever need checked. However, if you want to, you can click on each of them and read through them to see what you want specifically, but these are the only ones that you should need, basically. And so now we're going to, again, go into Internet Protocol version 4, TCP/IPv4, properties, DNS address. We're going to do the same thing with the ping. We're going to go back into command prompt. I'm just going to run the same commands again and explain it again for the Wi-Fi users. Ping 1.1.1.1. This is Cloudflare's main public DNS address. This is a very good one. So we're going to press enter. After typing that, it's going to run these lines of statistics, and then it's going to show us the average ping. That's pretty low. All right, now we're going to, this may vary slightly, but as long as you put the one that says it's lowest at the time, you should be kind of fine, because even if you test it a second time, those results might vary slightly, but it should be pretty good. And now we're going to do ping 0.1.0.0.1. It's going to run the statistics again, connecting to the DNS server, 24 milliseconds, so that one's not as good as the 21 milliseconds of 1.1.1.1. And now that was Cloudflare's first and second public DNS address, their main ones. And now we're gonna go ping Google's public DNS addresses. So ping 8.8.8.8. It's gonna run the statistics again. It's going to connect to their servers, and now it's going to say average. This completely depends on the computer and location, by the way, but average milliseconds 23. This is better than 1.0.0.1, but still not the best. So now I'm going to put ping 8.8.4.4, which is Google's second main public DNS address. It's going to run the statistics again and connect to the DNS server and say that this is 21 milliseconds, so this is the best on the list except for 1.1.1.1. And I would always prefer Cloudflare over Google DNS addresses. However, ping is the most important thing on here, so what I got was 1.1.1.1 was the best, and 8.8.4.4 was the second best for Wi-Fi. So now I'm going to press OK. I'm going to enter those, press OK. And now we should be good. Just close this menu and then go back on Wi-Fi. Right click, go press configure right here. Go into the advanced tab. And there's a lot more Wi-Fi settings than there are Ethernet settings. We're going to go on the first thing. You're going to want to set it to the highest speed it'll let you, which for me is 5G 802.11a. Even though it's the lowest number on the list, it is the fastest speed on here. However, if you do actually use 2.4 gigahertz or dual band specifically, you can set it to that, but for the most part, you should be good with 5G as long as you actually have 5G Wi-Fi. On the second one, you're going to go on here and set it to the highest on the list that it'll let you, which for me is 802.11ax. Which these might not be in the same order, and you might not have some of the same settings, so just actually look at the names and not just like 1, 2, 3, 4, like, and look at the names of the settings and match them up. ARP offload for WOW LAN, you're going to set this to disabled. Channel width for 2 gigahertz, set it to the maximum number it'll let you. For me, it only gives me one option, but that's still the highest number. Channel width for 5 gigahertz, again, the highest number it'll let you, even if it's only one number option or auto, set to the number. Channel width for 6 gigahertz, the highest number. Fat channel intolerant, disabled. GTK rekeying for WOW LAN, disabled. Human presence detection, disabled. MIMO power save mode, no SMPS. Mixed mode protection, RTS/CTS enabled. NS offload for WOW LAN, disabled. Packet coalescing, disabled. Preferred band, set this to the highest speed it'll let you. So instead of it varying between 5 and 6 or trying to use them at the same time, for me, I'll just set it to 6. gigahertz, but you want to set to the highest number it'll let you, unless if you're using a specific number for a specific reason, but if you're not, then just set it to the highest number, individual number it'll let you. Roaming aggressiveness, set this to the highest it'll let you, which for me is 5 highest. Sleep on WOW LAN disconnect disabled. Throughput booster disabled. Transmit power, set this to the highest it'll let you. For me, it's 5 highest. UAPSD support, set this to disabled. Ultra high band 6 gigahertz, if you have this option, set it to enabled. Wake on magic packet, set this to disabled. And wake on pattern match, set this to disabled. We should be good on all these settings. You press OK. It might disconnect for a second, but then it should reconnect. I'm not even using Wi-Fi, I'm using Ethernet, so mine's not going to reconnect because I'm not actually using the Wi-Fi currently. But for yours, it might disconnect for a second, but then it should reconnect right after that. Now you want to right click on it again, go into properties, configure, driver, click update driver and search automatically for drivers. If it finds a newer driver, then it'll give you the option to install it. But if the newest driver is already installed, newest or best driver is already installed, it'll say the best drivers for your device are already installed. So then you can close that. And now that's it for the network itself. Just a quick tip at the end here. Basically, just Windows R temp. We're gonna clear temporary files, which might be possibly lagging your game. So type press Windows R, type temp, enter, Control A. Don't worry, the guide's about to be over. The guide's about to end soon, so don't worry about the time. Windows R, %temp, %. Sorry for my mistyping there, but I got it eventually. Control A. Delete. If it gives you these options like on the previous one and this one, just select do for all current items and skip. But if there's also a continue button with a shield symbol, do that instead. Windows R prefetch, prefetch, exactly how I spelled it. My typing's not good. My prefetch is already empty because I empty it all the time. And now once you deleted all of that, you can go into your recycle bin, click empty recycle bin. It'll empty all of that. And now it might say working on it, but if you just go close it and go back to it and do it, it'll say this folder is empty. That's completely it for this internet guide about trying to get lower ping and lower latency, especially in video games, by changing the network settings. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a nice day. Bye.